So I did have an awesome video that I wanted to show you guys that I did with my kids, especially my daughter, kind of going through all of this mess that you see right here. Oh, hi Salem. But then I accidentally deleted two of the videos and I can't really put, oh no, Salem. Hold on, I'm gonna have to get him to move. Sorry for the jiggles. The two that I managed to save were the beginning and the end, and so it doesn't really make a lot of sense unless you have the two middle ones. So I'm redoing it very quickly just to explain what I had done. It's a bit of a DIY and a bit of a Christmas card video, so I won't go through anything too much in detail. Please let me know if there's anything that I didn't explain that you want to know more about down in the comments, and I'll go through it and explain everything a little better. But for now, I just wanted to sort of explain what we did. So we started off by taking some Wilton food coloring. These are gel colors. I make cakes, so I use these quite a bit for my icing. And they're very thick gel. And the reason that they're, oh, there you can see, they're not liquid, they're gel. The reason that they are gel is because when you're adding them to icing, especially a buttercream icing, you don't want to introduce any more moisture to them. So this introduces color without all the extra water that thins down your icing. So I took a bunch of these. I was hoping to make greens, so the ones that I picked are moss green and Kelly green. And then I took my teal, which you can see I use a lot of this. And then my daughter wanted to try these. These are those neon colors, so we thought we'd give those a try too. So basically what I was trying to do was come up with my own mists, because I don't really have a lot of them, and I don't have any in green except for one mint green. Yeah, buddy. Go lie down on the couch. I'll see you in 1 second, okay? Sorry. Anyways, yeah, I only have the Heidi Shine mint green, and I wanted a few more variations of green for the project. So what I did was I went online and I found a couple different people who have made their own mists, and then I just followed their directions. So these are what I made. You can see there the colors. I put them in these little containers from the dollar store instead of putting them into spritz bottles, because I didn't really need them to be mistable so much as I just wanted to be able to splatter with them. So I can keep these in these bottles and just use them for splatter. If I wanted to, I could maybe pour some into my little mini misters and then I could use it as mist, but I think I'm fine using them this way. So I got a pack of 6. So those were 2 of the greens I made. I made one that's more of the teal blue color. We tried a red one, reddy pink, just to play around and see. And then 2 other greens. So they're all slightly different from each other. Just by making mixtures of these colors, adding, you know, different amounts of it, I got all those variations. So one thing I will say before I put these away, when you're using these, if you're buying them, whoops, look at that, I'm making a mess. If you're buying them just for making your own mists, it doesn't matter so much what you use to actually take the color out. But if you are using your food grade ones that you already have in the kitchen, or you're buying them and planning on using them for icing and fondant and other things like that, along with, yeah, buddy, you can have that. Along with crafting, sorry, I'm just opening something for him. I recommend every time you take color out of this, using a toothpick or a straw, or, you know, a little lollipop stick or whatever it is, use a clean one every single time. if you've taken stuff out with a toothpick and you've put it into water and mixed it around, you don't want to take that toothpick and put it back in here. You'll contaminate your color, and it won't last very long. Plus, I'm not sure that you would want to use it for food after that. Anyways, just a tip to make sure you're using these properly. So we mixed them all up and we tested them here. You can see we splattered all over trying to find the colors that we liked. We experimented with just plain water and also with alcohol. Now, online I found quite a few people who use alcohol instead of water, but the trick with the alcohol is that you can't use the food colors, the Wilton ones, because they are water soluble, so they don't actually mix into the alcohol. But what you can do is mix them in some water first and then add the alcohol afterwards. The reason that you would do that is just because the alcohol evaporates a lot faster than water does, so it doesn't sit on your paper quite as long, and you don't get these halos. I don't know if you can see. Let me pull one up. So these little like water halos that you see, you don't really get those as much. You can see, oops, sorry, knocked my camera. You can see them here. And also you can see where the water has warped the paper. Whereas with just plain alcohol, it evaporates a little bit faster, so you get a bit of a cleaner color. But again, not as easy to use because you have to find something that isn't water soluble so that the alcohol actually mixes properly. I've seen a lot of people use alcohol and Kool-Aid, so that is one option if you wanted to try that. I didn't do that, but I think I might try another video where I make some Kool-Aid misters, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, so we added a little bit of alcohol after we mixed our colors, but not too much. These are mostly water. Also, if you are doing that, remember that you're going to dilute it just a little bit. So once you kind of mix it and you get the color you like, you need to add a little bit more in order to keep that intensity if you're going to add the alcohol to it afterwards. All right, so once all of our colors were mixed up, I decided I wanted to try something that I saw Adele Toomey make from Inky Quill. She did some salt photo paper playing to try and do some stuff with her art journal. So I found this at Dollar Tree. I grabbed 2 packages. There's 20 pieces of just glossy photo paper in here. Not super duper glossy, but glossy enough. Like, it definitely isn't a matte finish. So I thought I would play around with it and see what I could come up with. The whole goal for me is to use this on my Christmas cards. So here's a blank that you can see the glossiness of it. So once I had everything made and I had my paper, I laid them out. I sprinkled a little bit of salt. You can see my pile of used salt right there. I sprinkled a little bit of salt. I used a mixture of coarse salt and also some table salt just to see if it gave different textures. And then I started splattering. So I did use some of my Heidi Shine Mint Green. I sprayed some of that, and then I just took a big paintbrush and I splotched all over the paper, trying to mix up the colors and trying to just get some variation.
Can we hot chocolate?
Oh, sure. I'll get you some hot chocolate in 1 second, okay, my love? So this is what I got. Basically, you splotch it. I threw some extra salt on top. In some of the spots where it was really pooling, I threw some salt. You can see the salt sort of absorbing the color. And then I left it. You have to make sure that it dries completely. And you can definitely tell because the salt changes color and it looks different. So once it's dried completely, you get this effect. So you can see here where the salt has kind of eaten into the paper a little bit. It's mixed some of the colors. There's a bit of a sheen to it still, so that's kind of fun. Each of them is completely different. Like the salt did this, those little dots. I'm not sure if this is exactly what the outcome is supposed to be, but I thought it was kind of fun and it's a little bit different. So I made up a whole bunch of pages. Hold on one second. Sorry, my son just wanted something to drink. All right, and I'm not starting over for that little interruption. But now my kitty cat wants some snuggles. I'm gonna just truck on right through this. So once I had all my papers done, what I decided to do is cut them up to make Christmas trees on my Christmas cards. So this year my design is so super simple, very minimal effort, but I really like how they turned out. And there's just going to be some little jiggling here. Oh, this is the design that I'm using this year for my cards. So here is the green that I used. I just cut the paper into different shapes of triangles. Every single paper came out a little bit differently, so every tree is a little different. And then what I did is I used some of the Tim Holtz Distress inks to make a blend here. So the colors that I blended were Tumbled Glass, Blueprint Sketch, and Mermaid Lagoon. And then I splashed some water on it just to pull up the color that you can see here. And then I watered down a little bit of gesso and flicked that on. So I don't know if you can, the camera may not catch, but there's just a little bit of texture. The gesso, because it's watered down, it's not super white, but it's got a little bit of texture to it. And then I took the trees and I put them down. I used a chalk marker to put some white on there just because I wanted to be able to kind of squish it around, and painted the gesso down here a little bit. Nothing perfect. I wanted some texture too. And then of course your sequins. Which one just fell off? Oops. So all of my cards will be basically the same as that. I'm just going to put a little Merry Christmas sentiment right there, and then they'll be all ready to go. So there's one. And I'll show you just a few others so you can see the variations in how they came out. I used 4 trees on that one. I just went with what looked good. 3 trees. And then just to make my envelopes a little bit more fun, I put some of the blue here and in the back so that I can address them and have them all sent out. So like I said, I'm finding every year I'm getting a little more simplified in my card making, but I seem to be enjoying the process a whole lot more. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping, if that's the right word. Happy scrapping. Talk to you later. Bye.